I need to get better about stretching though. That's my big thing. Cause I noticed that I tend to tweak myself a little bit more when I'm not. I just hate stretching. There's a lot of things like I can dig deep mentally for like exercise, like really deep.
Yeah.
For some reason, holding a stretch is so hard for me. I don't know about you guys.
I do like.
I don't find it meditative. Like I find exercise meditative. Like the act of stretching, I guess.
What are the different stretches? Like static stretching, and then what is the other one?
I know what you're talking about. I can't remember off the top of my head, but
you're not holding it. It's more like you're moving.
I thought the static one was more like you're not holding it. Like that is the one.
Well, according to Jeff Napard, like when you're warming up before exercise, you want to do like stretching, like movements where you're not holding it, and then like afterwards during your cool down, then you want to do like static stretches where you do hold it. But my warm ups, I'm not good about warming up and cooling down either, which just has led to injuries in the past. It's not my strong suit.
I'm getting better about the warm up part.
And I struggle with flexibility myself.
Go to yoga. Have you guys ever been to yoga? Go to like that once a month, dude. And dude, it's fine.
I have yoga shit at my house. I do it sometimes, but I don't incorporate it enough.
I went to a yoga class and it's so hard. I went like as a kid, bro. I was like, nah. These 4-year-old
really
women are
so
so flexible.
You can go to one that like it's like the beginner ones.
I feel like that's what I need to do because I feel like it was so intimidating. Like everybody's doing these really complicated shit, and you're like, I just do it at home. There's this chick on YouTube. It's called Yoga with Adrian. She does like guided yoga stuff. She has like a 30-day one, and I did that, and it gets more advanced the farther you get into it.
Oh yeah, you can tell when men don't do yoga too. Like they're not flexible. Like I'm not that flexible, but I at least do something.
It's like low key a workout. Like it's a lot of like core and stabilizer muscles that you don't normally feel when you're working out the same way. But it definitely increases your lifts. It's a good supplement.
Yeah, that, and I think cardio should be another thing most people should do, because you can tell when someone is in the gym and they don't do cardio. They're just mouth breathers the whole time. And
I don't have a problem with cardio. I normally just walk on the treadmill at an incline, or I'll do HIIT exercises.
Yeah.
But like I really like the one-arm dumbbell snatch is my favorite one. It's just a fun movement, and it gets my heart beat up quite a bit. Mm-hmm. But that's not really an issue for me.
I think like everything I like to do is excessive.
Yeah.
We were just talking about, I can't say too much, but just because it's my work, but if I get the shift that I want, waking up at 5 a.m. and like doing an ice bath, you know what I mean? And then going and doing cardio in the morning and then work and then lifting afterwards would be so awesome. Like, I really like that lifestyle of just, like, fitness. I don't know. But it's really hard for me because anything I divulge into, which I think we're all like that, we get really, like...
super into it?
Yeah. It's like there's no, like, in-between for me. It's either I'm in it or I'm...
I don't think it's a bad thing to get super into. I mean, you'll feel great. You'll live longer and be healthier. And then on top of it, like... what other things are you going to do hobby-wise realistically?
Yeah.
And you enjoy it, so it's not like a chore.
Yeah.
It's better than, like, getting fucked up all the time and embarrassing yourself.
100%.
I see it as a lifestyle, though, not as even as a hobby.
I see it as both, because, like, I enjoy it. Like, it's fun to me, you know what I'm saying? So it can be both. It can be lifestyle, hobby, you know?
I think you're definitely right, because it's definitely my hobby, too. Like, I was trying to figure out, like, during this whole time period of, like, where I'm going through this shift and, like, trying to figure out what I want to do. I'm like, go back to the things that I did as a kid. Which my hobbies as a kid were just, like, we did sports.
Right.
You know, so I just want to be an athlete. Like, I just want to be at my best potential. That's it.
Yeah.
Like, I want to look I'm in my mid-20s. We should all be in our primes of our lives.
You should all start doing jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, it's fun.
I want to so bad.
I went.
Bro, I don't like it.
Ago. You don't like it?
No, bro. I don't... I mean, like, it can be fun and interesting, but I like grappling from the top more, and, like...
Well, you can still do that in jiu-jitsu.
No, I know you can, but they don't emphasize it as much in practice. A lot of it, you learn how to fight off your back, which is super important, but, like, it's uncomfortable for me because it doesn't feel natural.
Yeah, but you don't have to do that. Like, me as a wrestler going into jiu-jitsu, I'm never on bottom.
I just wrestle.
I still go on top. Yeah, I literally
Wrestling translates into jiu-jitsu. You don't have to change any of your rule set.
Yeah, exactly.
The only
Yeah,
difference
that's
is
fair.
you can lock your hands and everything.
Yeah, and you can do
Which is
fucking
way
big
better.
arms and shit,
Yeah.
bro.
It's way better.
That's
Yeah.
true.
I was just talking to, I can't remember, when I trained jiu-jitsu way long ago. This guy was telling me that some of the best jiu-jitsu guys are actually wrestlers because jiu-jitsu in itself doesn't really work sometimes in the real world if you're just butt scooters.
Yeah.
Is what we, you know what I mean? Like, that's
Yeah.
not real life. But he said, like, when you're aggressive and you know how to break people's arms, choke people out, like, that's, and usually wrestlers are aggressive. So he said, like, when he sees people, you know what I mean? They'll come in, and wrestlers typically are pretty good athletes. It translates really well. But them translating to wrestling, it doesn't translate well. It's weird. You know what I'm saying? Like, if a jiu-jitsu guy were to translate over to wrestling, I
It's
don't
pretty
think it
hard to
translates
learn
as
to
well.
unlock your hands.
Because,
Yeah.
like, wrestling is a lot more, like, hips and, like, body positioning.
Jiu-jitsu has a lot of hips too in body
Uh-huh.
positioning, but
That is true. I'm tripping. I just think
But-
as far as, like, the picking up, like, like Keith said,
it
it
is
really
more aggressive.
emphasizes,
I think
like, that.
wrestling is more
Yeah.
aggressive, and then jiu-jitsu is like more technique.
Yeah, 100%.
So
Especially like Greco-Roman, it's like all upper body. You know,
Yeah.
jiu-jitsu you work from the ground a lot.
yeah,
It's not as
Which I just don't think is, like, real life applicable.
well, yeah, you're not gonna fight from the ground a lot in a street fight. Like no one wants to be like scooting their ass around on the
You
concrete.
get stomped, yeah, or
You know what I'm saying?
well, I think the whole point of jiu-jitsu is self-defense.
It
It's
is,
not
yeah.
really like
It's not
you're
as
not gonna be the aggressor. It's more like
yeah.
to save your own life.
No, and, like, honestly, I'm not even. I think I'm making it sound like I'm fucking hate jiu-jitsu. I love it. I think it's very real life applicable. I just think the people that train it the right way are like UFC fighters. They're not just training jiu-jitsu. It's like they're doing everything, obviously.
Yeah.
So you're never just gonna see a UFC fighter just get on the fucking ground and like bust.
Oh yeah, you
towards
seen
it.
Gordon Ryan?
Yeah,
Gordon Ryan's a very aggressive jiu-jitsu.
I
guy.
like him.
And
That's
he
why I
could
like
be
him.
a good wrestler too. I've
He
seen him
wrestles.
Yeah, I've seen him
He-
wrestle John Jones.
He picks and yeah, he's good.
Yeah.
John Jones was telling. He posted about it. Like, I guess he's a good grappler. Like,
Yeah,
all
he beat John
around.
Jones.
Yeah.
And John Jones was an all-American fucking wrestler.
Yeah,
Gordon does wrestle a lot. I think that's what makes him so fun and why jiu-jitsu's gotten so big again is because he's not one of those guys. He's like, let's go. Like,
What's crazy about Gordon though is that his team trains like bodybuilders. They all do steroids, and they're the best, literally the best jiu-jitsu team in the world.
but it's
Like,
7 days a
No
week.
one trains
yeah.
how they do. Yeah, they
Yeah.
train 7 days a week. That's why they do the steroids.
Yeah.
Like it makes sense how they're training, and they're literally just training for size.
Yeah.
And then they apply that in the jiu-jitsu room. Like,
But you've
no one
never.
in jiu-jitsu
But it's
does
weird
that.
because you've never seen like big, like Gordon Ryan. Like, dude, he's huge.
when he's
but
on
he-
gear, have
yeah,
you seen him
but-
off gear?
Yeah.
just-
Then he shrinks down.
Yeah,
But like, it's weird to see like a bunch of jocks that have brains and they're not using their muscle. That's
Yeah.
what's interesting about them. They're all huge, but it's like they're not using their like they're using their technique.
right.
And they're abnormally strong because, like you said, they're doing like a lot of strength training and shit that's not normal for that sport.
No, they're not.
And it just makes them. I just think they're next level freaks now for that sport. I don't know how you beat them.
They've changed the whole game.
The training
Yeah.
is gonna go up, like
Yeah.
it has to.
Strength training makes sense, but I don't understand why they would do bodybuilding movements.
Just strong.
That's just for vanity at that
They
point.
do like heavy. Gordon does like heavy lifting. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was gonna.
He does a lot of hypertrophy training too. Joe Rogan
Yeah.
said. I guess I've seen snippets of him working out and stuff. I think he's just training for size, probably more for his weight class, because obviously if you're a bigger guy,
Yeah.
you're gonna beat a smaller guy.
And he not honestly naturally isn't like if you look at his jiu-jitsu like his frame when he's younger, he really is naturally a skinnier guy. So he really probably he does have to lift, you know what I mean, and try to keep up with that weight. Some people it's
Yeah.
more natural like that.
I mean, I guess you
be
could argue
heavier.
that like hypertrophy training is better for muscular endurance. Like they're not gonna get gassed as fast because
Oh,
if you're doing more
100%, yeah.
powerlifting movements, you're not gonna have as much gas in the tank.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know. Yeah, grappling is way more important than striking when it comes to fighting. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
you can like if you're like
Well, yeah.
75% grappling, 25% striking, you're gonna almost win every time.
I would
Like,
say you could be like literally even I say like 15% striking. Like it's like so not needed. Like Habib showed how not needed.
Well, and also in real life fights, dude, your wrist and your hands are so fallible. Like you're gonna break your wrist or hand punching
Yeah.
someone. Like you don't want to compromise your body punching someone in the face and breaking yourself on their bones. Like you're more likely to win and have less injury if you're gonna choke them out or something.
Yeah.
It makes way more sense realistically.
Frank Mir did that shit all the time too.
Frank Mir was the freakiest of them because
God. He was an asshole though. He just
those
snapped
guys,
someone's
yeah. He's interesting because
Frank Mir is a dog.
arm. He just snapped him, bro.
it's interesting. Yeah, he did I think he broke the most bones in the UFC, and then
Wait, with the triangle
he would always like. Usually
Yeah,
people like
arm bars and
or
stuff.
guillotine.
yeah they'll go for it, but
Yeah.
they'll tap. Like they'll give you a chance to tap. Like they'll be like, hey, I'm gonna break your arm. Frank Mir would just break your arm.
No warning, bro.
Yeah,
he did
I
a
like
gator
it.
roll one time with this guy's arm.
Should we play
Like
clip
gator
of it?
rolled it. Oh, dude.
He's a pot. He
Show him the one where
I'll
he
do the
gator
one.
rolls the guy.
doesn't he come
His
on
arm is
podcasts a lot
sideways.
as a guest?
Huh?
Frank Mir.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is on a lot of like smaller ones, I'd say.
I think I've seen him. Yeah, he's funny.
He's cool as hell. His kid's a freak athlete too.
How do you spell mirror? Is it
MIR, I think.
Oh.
Right.
Yeah. He Rock wasn't it?
Oh yeah, that was another funny one, where he leg locked him and just rolled with him,
Really?
and the ref didn't see him tapping, so Frank Mir just kept going, and then Brock
If
Lesnar
you look
knocked
at
him out in the
Tim's
second
not
fight
half
because
of
he was
those
so
bodies.
pissed about it. It was probably to get people to fight this guy. There it is. Watch, and then he'll just break it, dude. Like, he won't stop it. Oh, his arm's broke. Bro.
Frank Mir wants to be. This is his spot.
Oh gosh,
He missed
dude.
it. He missed it.
Frank does not mind this at all.
He's just holding on to his broken arm.
Frank does not let this go.
Snap.
Oh.
It's already snapped.
Yeah, he snapped that already.
Look at it. Oh.
Hell
I saw it.
no, dude. That's so gross.
He did this to everybody. Though. There's like 6 guys.
That man's
Is he just trying to
incredible.
walk it off? No, he just walks it off after he got his arm broken. Oh my god.
I can't believe this guy's not freaking out with how bad his arm's broken.
Yeah.
You have so much adrenaline during fights, bro. You just don't even feel anything. Like when John Jones broke his toe, he didn't even know it
This guy never fought again.
until
Though.
Rogan told him.
He snapped his arm at the elbow. Do you know how bad that is?
Yeah, that's pretty.
You're fucked.
You're not gonna ever be the same after
You have
that.
to amputate your dude. Snapping your arm at a joint. Like I don't even understand how you recover from that.
Not very easily, that's for sure.
Yeah. Yeah,
Insane.
Frank Mir was a fucking savage. But going back to the striking thing, yeah, if you're fighting a boxer that knows nothing about grappling and you only know wrestling or jiu-jitsu, I 100% think that guy's just going to beat the boxer.
10 out of 10 times.
Yeah, unless the boxer is able to keep space against you guys. If the boxer is able to keep space against you guys and not be able to get you on his legs, then I think the boxer will win. But
Yeah, but
I
what are
think
the
if it's
odds, though?
Yeah, it's just. I would say it's. Yeah.
Because grapplers know how to change levels and
Yeah.
confuse you, and then as soon as they're fighting up here, and then you change
It's a
levels
different-
and you
yeah.
shoot, like
Well,
they're
Keith's
fucked,
right
bro.
about this too, like timing. So I did I would go into box when I tore my ACL. I did boxing for like a couple months, and then I went back into like MMA training, and then you have people throwing kicks at you now. So now you have punches and kicks. Like
yeah,
the timing changes. So if you have somebody that's used to only seeing punches, and then you're feinting, you know what I mean? Even if you're not throwing punches, like.
well, let's change it to kickboxing, I guess. Like
Yeah.
you can keep someone's wrestler's space away.
Oh,
Because
100.
they're not going to want to shoot from you if you just keep kicking them. They don't want to get kneed in
Yeah.
the face.
I
Like
would-
Sean
dude.
O'Malley did to Cheeto.
Yeah.
Shot on him, straight knee to the fucking face.
And I think
That
people.
was nasty.
I think people are figuring out that style,
Yeah.
which is like you just don't be scared.
I would almost argue that kickboxing is better than just traditional boxing, because if you
Yeah,
can
I
kick
think
and
that
grapple, you almost don't even have to strike, dude.
I want to learn to kick. I can't do kicks. I only know boxing.
Well, you gotta be careful because you can break your feet bad, bro,
Yeah.
and your
You don't
shins.
kick with,
Talk
you
to
don't kick
shit
with
people.
your feet.
You got Well,
Low
and you got to
leg
build up
kicks.
you got to build up calcium in your shins.
I have a really good low leg kick and my side kick, but I cannot I don't know. My hips are not open
Dad
enough
knows how to
just
do
kick
kicks,
normal.
doesn't he?
Yeah,
I can kick
know how
pretty
to do
good.
Kicks too. I could show you.
All right.
Christian is gonna be the guy that's his
He wants to
dexterity.
train with me.
His dexterity and
He's
his
trained with
legs
us.
is crazy, since he's just been doing it so long, and he is just he's one of the most technical, strikers out there right now in Salina. Like as far as striking and then kicks, dude. Like he's a chess game. If you're sparring with him, you're like, whoa.
Yeah.
He's throwing a lot out there.
I'm still trying to figure myself as a fighter. I don't really understand the whole, what kind of boxer I am. I understand grappling, but
Yeah, and there is different styles. Like you have to. Like I kind of keep I jump in and out a lot, so
like feint in and feint
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
That's what I've been doing a little bit.
Typically, they'll tell you like guys like
And then I do the
I don't
Philly. I do like what Floyd Mayweather does, but I don't know how much that translates into MMA, because everyone always says that's not good for MMA. But Sean Strickland only does the Philly show, but he's pretty much a boxer.
yeah, and I don't know if that style of fighting works at those lower weight classes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say, at that weight class, it's a whole different animal. You know what I'm saying?
It is just true. Like
Well, you
as
also gotta
guys
think,
get
like-
bigger, they move slower and.
There's different styles at different weight classes,
Yeah.
and if somebody more advanced eventually comes around in that weight class, maybe it'll change the style of fighting. But I don't know. Currently at that level, that's just not something that's very common.
Yeah.
Which that's a cool thing too, is like watching the different fighting styles among different weight classes.
Yeah.
It's pretty different.
Yeah, those heavyweights just use like pretty much all strength. Like Francis Ngannou, and I don't know. John Jones is coming up. He's a pretty technical fighter, so I really want to see him fight. Tom Aspinall, he's not like that.
Tom
He's
Aspinall might be one of the freakiest athletes.
Well, he actually is a strong hitter too, but he also is pretty technical.
Not just he's godly technical. He's the
Yeah.
first of a kind. He trained MMA since he was 5 years old. So
Seriously?
he is the first of a kind.
Did you see them face off, Tom Aspinall and John Jones?
Yeah, John Jones. I think gets marked by.
Is he actually coming out of retirement now, Jones?
Yeah, he is. He's not gonna fight Tom Aspinall.
No, he
he's
said
waiting,
he wasn't going to. He told
He's
him that
waiting
to his face.
for what's his name?
John don't want to fight him, bro.
I don't know. I'm really mad that
No,
Ngannou
but I
ended
get
up
what,
switching
I get
to
what
boxing.
John Jones said, and he shut
That
up.
would've been good.
He shut up Tom Aspinall, dude. Everybody said that about John for years.
Mhm.
They said, "Oh, you don't want to fight this guy. You don't want to fight this guy. This guy's gonna be the one to take your crown." They never take his crown, and he's like, "Until you take my zero,
Yeah.
then you can't talk." And I like Tom Aspinall said fair, like it's true. They've always said this about me, that I'm scared of you. I'm not scared of you. I want to fight. He wants to fight. He's just open about what he's doing. He wants to fight Stipe Miocic and retire. He wants to beat the guy with the best accolades in the heavyweight division. That's Stipe Miocic.
I think he destroys Stipe.
Oh, I think he murks him. But you know what I mean? Then he does have the perfect record. He beat the guy with the highest accolades in that division.
Yeah.
He's the GOAT. Who could you say is better than him? You know what I mean? He has an undeniable resume at this point.
Yeah.
I don't think he has anything else left to prove. I would love to see him fight Tom Aspinall. I don't think he will because he knows it's bad for his career.
Mm-hmm.
He's 34. You know what I mean? I think he knows.
This might be kind of fucked up, but I kind of like that he's a bad guy, dude.
Me too.
Yeah, everyone likes it.
But now
John
he's leaning
Jones just
into
needs
it.
to own up into it. I think he is owning into it.
Oh, he's leaning into it.
Yeah,
now.
he's leaning into it pretty heavy now. He never used to do that, though.
That's why Tyson's so exciting to watch, dude. He's literally just a demon. Like, he's a mean person outside of fighting,
Tyson?
and then he comes in and
Yeah.
he fucking kills. Like, it's just scary and
Dude,
cool.
just watching the stuff that he would say to the...
Speaking of the Jake Paul and like that shit, I hate hearing
Who do you think's
anybody.
gonna win?
I hate hearing anybody talk about.
Because you
this.
like both of them.
No, like let's be honest about who's gonna win. Like let's just pick reality. Because I hate people like if you know fighting,
Same Mike.
if you say Mike Tyson's gonna win, no.
Really?
Jake Paul is younger, quicker, way faster.
Bro, Mike is 57, dog.
You don't understand. You see him hitting a heavy bag.
He almost beat Roy Jones Jr. though.
He looked terrible.
He
They
definitely-
both look terrible.
They're
No,
old
I
and
think
unconditioned.
Mike Tyson was holding back. Yeah.
It's gonna be a bad fight. It's gonna be. We're gonna be like. You guys are gonna say this right now, but
It depends what
When
the
the
contract says, though, too.
when the fight happens, I think we're all gonna be like, why did we sanction this fight?
Uh-huh.
And Dana White is even saying the same thing.
No, that's
Dana
not-
White doesn't lie. He's saying this is a bad fight. This shouldn't happen. He loves Mike Tyson. This is a bad.
It's going to be a bad way to end his reputation, and he's an old
you
man.
fuck your legacy.
No,
That's what
his
Dana White
legacy
was
is gonna
saying
stay
too.
intact.
But
No,
also,
you
why
gotta
would...
tarnish yourself.
He's just coming back and doing this for fun. It's like Eminem Eminem's rap now is not the same, obviously, but he's doing it for fun. No one really listens to Eminem.
Fair. I think it's just
Like
how you.
all his older rap.
I think it
is
depends on
still
how you look at
fucking
it.
amazing.
That is true. I just think it
You
depends
know?
on how you look at it. A guy like Mike, that is the best. Like you could say, like he might be the best, right? There's a lot of people that think he's the best of an era, and for you to come back and fight a guy that's just younger, he's younger and more
I think
athletic
he's
than
doing
you,
it for
and
fun.
he's coming up. Like Jake Paul does have a lot of talent.
Yeah.
Jake hits hard, and he's way quicker than Mike Tyson. He's gonna get knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, it'd be
I don't
fucking
think
cool,
he'll get
though, if he
knocked out.
fought a
The contract
professional
says
under
that.
40
This is
years
what the
old.
clause is going to say. What the clause is, it's 100% a sanctioned fight. So this is what people don't understand. This is not going to be a rigged fight. Everybody says this about Jake Paul. if they're sanctioned under the boxing rules, you know what I mean? That means like whatever goes. Now they could put in a clause that says like if they knocked each other down 3 times or 2 times, they could have some new rules. You know what I mean? So people don't get hurt. But that doesn't matter if Mike or Jake lands one hard punch and somebody gets brutally knocked the fuck out. And if it's Mike Tyson, you're 57 years old. You getting knocked completely out is not good. You might die.
Get knocked out.
They shouldn't sanction that fight.
No, not
It's
at
a
all.
bad-
It's
it's a bad fight.
really
Not gonna go
dangerous.
for Mike Tyson on that one. Even if he loses, I think his legacy was.
I love him. I love him to death. I love somebody like that. And I like Jake. You know I like Jake.
Yeah.
I just don't want to see him
I think
fight a guy like
Jake's
Jake.
too cringy for me. I like his brother Logan. I think he's a good boxer. Jake,
I hate the
but
character.
he's-
I think he's a freak athlete. Yes.
Yeah.
I think everybody's. I don't think I like his like personality so much. I think he's doing good things for boxing.
I think he's
I think
cringy on
he's coming up.
purpose. Like
Yeah.
he was screaming in that weigh-in, bro, and I just laughed. I was like, I can't take him serious. I was
I
like,
think he
he's
just
not
leans into it at this
intimidating
point.
guy.
But then when you hear him just talk on a normal podcast, you're like, why don't you just talk like that?
Yeah, he's funny. He's funny as fuck.
You know what I mean? Like,
I'll give
just
him
don't
that.
be cringy.
Yeah.
Like on his podcast, he's not like that weird character that he plays when.
No, he's not.
I don't know.
He does it for the views, I bet, though. Like, he knows that he's the heel
Yeah.
of the fight.
Yeah.
So-
I just don't think he needs to do that anymore. So I just don't understand when famous people get so big, you don't even need it. Like,
Yeah.
it's not for your name at this point.
Well, he's also been famous since he was like 16. Famous people that are famous from a young age are out of touch with reality. They're just weird people in general.
Yeah. I couldn't imagine being like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm personally not a huge fan of him myself, but
Do you guys ever want to be famous or no?
no. Fuck no.
100%.
To an extent, I would. I wouldn't want to be like where everyone's in my shit all the time, but like,
Listen, I love doing this kind of shit.
yeah. If it's
So
what
like,
I love
if I could
doing.
turn this into a career, great. Like
Yeah.
the fame would be a byproduct of it if it ever got to that point for whatever reason, which is very unlikely. But like, I want the money that comes with the fame. I don't want the fame.
Dude, I think it's not very unlikely. If you look at Joe Rogan's first podcast, everyone always like read the comments are like, I can literally achieve anything just because of how bad the first podcast was.
Yeah.
Like it was.
Well,
he was
now-
not even good at talking.
Well, and
to
it
people.
all just like,
But-
I mean, even looking at dad's social media or mom's social media, like, or even your own, if you're consistent, your views and your engagement consistently over time will go up.
Yeah.
And dad is proving that right now. If you are consistent with your posting, you know the algorithm and all that other stuff, like 100%. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
but
we
it
need-
comes down to being consistent, and then I think a lot of people, it's
And improving, obviously.
Yeah.
Like Joe Rogan didn't get famous until 10 years down the road of podcast.
yeah, when he had way better. Yeah.
Yeah. Like he finally learned how to talk to people
Yeah.
and figure stuff out. So
Yeah, I mean, this is all
and that's
practice
what
at
we're
this
doing.
point.
Yeah, this is just practice, pretty much. But
It's all, I mean, it is harder now though, because the market is oversaturated. I mean, really, at
yeah,
this
but
point,
not everyone
anybody.
can do it though. Like we said that last podcast.
But I think a lot of people are preaching bullshit too, like it's not authentic. Like
I
a
don't
lot
know.
of people, I just think if you're authentic and you're talking about, I don't know.
Absolutely.
I think there's
be
an
yourself.
audience for everybody out there. Like,
Yeah.
I agree. I mean, I guess it almost looks different now because like so many people have millions of subscribers on different platforms now, and realistically speaking, I mean, you might not be the most famous person, but you can definitely, it's more likely to turn it into a career now because they have things like Patreon and stuff where you can monetize it
Yeah.
and you can make money and live off of it. You might not be like the most popular influencer or the richest, but you can still for sure make it into a career.
You could, yeah.
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 You just might not be the biggest, but you can definitely make it
Joe
into a
Rogan's
life.
first sponsor was a sex toy, bro.
Yeah, it was pretty weird. It was Fleshlight,
Now
bro.
he gets like all the sponsors in the fucking world.
Fleshlight, dude. That's so weird. If you listen to the old ones compared to the new ones, like, it's so different. Because he was a lot more bro-y back then and less educated.
Yeah, he was.
and I
Now
think
he's
that was
like-
really his. That just shows his growth. It's kind of weird because I think that really
He was
his
young, bro.
personality at his time.
That was him in his early 30s. Now he's in his early 50s. No, he's in his mid
Yeah, now he
50s.
has the kids and stuff, and
So much more perspective,
yeah,
and I think it shows like his curiosity has really elevated his perspective on life. You know what I mean?
yeah. He's such a curious guy, and that's what makes Joe Joe. Like he's not the smartest guy in the world. He's
So yeah, I wish I had his curiosity on things
yeah,
because I'm only like that with like a very select few things, and you know what I mean. Like what I like is what I like. I don't want to like. I don't really care to go out and. You know what I mean? experience, like, I guess, hear about those other things. I don't know.
I almost hate
like to
being a
people
Joe
watch it.
stan, but like, fuck it, you like what you like, and I'm into it. But I don't share it with too many people because a lot of people, like, they have this weird preconceived notion about who you are as a person if you're super into Rogan. They think you're like, I don't even know. A lot of people think you're like a radical conservative if you're a Rogan
Well,
fan.
he's a liberal guy, and people that think that don't even watch Joe Rogan.
That is,
Because he's
yeah.
so liberal.
Most
It's like,
liberal.
it's ridiculous.
I think they're just susceptible to like the far left media.
Well, here's what's
and-
going on with the world. You watch the CAA thing, and the guys explain it perfectly. America's in like its adolescence age. We're in the middle of puberty. It's an awkward stage.
Yeah,
Remember him talking
yeah. He
about that?
compared it to being in middle school. Yeah.
Yeah, where we like get awkward boners all the time and shit. It's just like we're in an awkward stage of America. Like no one knows. No one's rational anymore. Everyone is sheep here, and they're going with the flow, and they're not doing their own research or evidence.
What's also hard, I mean, because that
Yeah.
that dude that came on, I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but he also talks about how difficult it is to form an appropriate opinion because there's just so much propaganda.
Yeah.
It's hard to make heads or tails of anything, and I mean, yeah. Well, and then also, like, even search engines, I don't know if you guys know this, but, like, unless you're using, like, DuckDuckGo or something, which even that is questionable, what you type in and comes up isn't necessarily based on, like, popular views. It's the information they want to feed you.
Yeah.
So, like, you can have biased opinions just based off of the way they manipulate the algorithm using a search engine. So it's, like, so hard to form a good opinion because they're trying to give us misinformation or skew our opinion in one way all the time. Whoever they are, whether it's the left or the right or whatever you want to call
Both
it.
sides.
I mean,
It's both sides.
yeah, they're both
it's our
doing it.
government, it's other countries. It's literally everyone. It's so
Yeah.
easy to do now.
Yeah, the
So-
internet makes it
Yeah.
pretty confusing because it's so manipulated.
We're in the age of whatever aligns with your political agenda, they can find the science for that. Like, it doesn't matter if it's the truth or not. They'll push it out.
Well, nobody
Yeah.
wants to, like, look at shit that they're not interested in, so you're obviously going to be biased. It's not like
Yeah.
a lot of people don't
Everyone's
take the
biased.
time to
Yeah.
research the other side. I mean, I'm guilty of it myself, you know?
Yeah, I am too. Which you have to admit, people don't want to admit when they're wrong, which shows, I think, shows that you have a good characteristic. I think if you admit that you're.
Yeah, I literally tell people this all the time. Like, I change my perspective, I think, daily.
Yeah, same.
Like, don't talk to me about the same conversation yesterday because I literally might.
I've already changed
I don't.
my mind
Yeah,
again. Yeah.
because I just have already experienced other things today
Right.
that I've already changed my mind about.
And that's
Something that
fine.
I thought I was set in stone on. You know what I mean? The other day.
I think that's fine and it makes you human, but that's, like, it's kind of, like, dangerous, but also beautiful at the same time, like, with posting shit on the internet because, like, they can manipulate that clip and they can make you look like a bad person. But the thing is, like, if you have longer formats like podcasts and you regularly upload, they can kind of see the progression of your change of thought and stuff, and it's easier for you to defend yourself, you know.
Yeah, and sometimes I think you look back on like past podcasts or stuff where maybe stuff seems absurd now, but I don't feel like back then, like, people just talk differently too. Like, over the years, you know what I mean? Like, if you go back and watch those podcasts too, like Joe Rogan got some flack on stuff he said. I don't think that, you know what I mean? I just think it was a different time too. People were a lot more careless with their words, and
Yeah, I mean, culturally,
mean?
there's been a huge shift
There's
in
just a
the way
shift,
we use
yeah.
language and our values and stuff.
yeah.
Yeah.
I said shit on one of the earlier podcasts that we did that I didn't like that I said, and my views have changed since then because I've done more research.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah.
Yeah, I've done that too.
I made a
It's
stupid
funny.
comment about, like, if you don't vote for Trump, you're not patriotic. And in hindsight, I was like, that was so cringy, and why did I say that stupid
You're just
shit?
being funny. I don't think you.
I don't. It was like part
Yeah.
comedy, but a little bit part truth. But I was like, since we made that video, I was like, I don't know if I really believe that. That was probably a really dumb thing to say.
I think they're both terrible fucking presidents.
Oh yeah, I mean, he's definitely the lesser of the two evils, but I shouldn't have gone as far to say that you're not a patriot if you don't vote for him. That's stupid. You could be just as much a patriot if you don't vote because
You
you're.
guys watch Carl Tuckerson?
Oh yeah,
His new podcast. He had one with Ice Cube.
Dude, he's just out there, bro.
I haven't seen that one. He is out there.
Carlo is pretty out there.
Like, I think people want to be on there because they know he's just outlandish.
He does have a lot
I
of
can't take
good
him
points,
serious.
though. I can take
yeah,
him
but
serious.
he kind of leans into, like, I don't even know what the fuck it is about him. Like,
I like what.
I just can't take him serious. I don't know.
He's weird, that's for sure. He has a weird
Maybe
laugh
that's
and a
what it
weird
is.
personality, weird sense of humor.
Uh,
But he does make some pretty good points sometimes when it comes to like talking about politics. But it's definitely a strange guy, and I don't agree with him on everything.
Said, though, like he's an independent thinker. Like even he didn't want to vote for Biden because he didn't even think they did enough for his culture or people. And a lot of people don't realize that now, that like they just want to go with the flow of what everyone else is doing. They're not independently thinking for themselves. We don't have critical thinking nowadays.
Yeah.
I think that's
I
just
mean, I've
human
read
nature
it-
in general,
yeah.
but
Yeah.
and it's easier now to do that than ever
I did watch a thing.
because we have
on
so
that,
much
yeah.
access to biased information.
Yeah.
Like, if there's an easier route, like, we'll take it.
Yeah, I mean humans
Yeah.
are lazy creatures.
That's what humans typically do. I was watching a thing about, like innately, that's what we do.
Well,
as
that's why I
humans.
like the iPhone, bro. It's not because I think it's the best phone. It's because it's the most simple thing to use.
Yeah.
Like, in reality, Androids are pretty badass. It's just they're complicated.
Yeah.
I have a fucking ape mind.
Yeah.
Like,
When you still
It's
fall
easy.
victim to like obviously wanting to fit in and stuff, you
yeah.
like to look fly, like
Yeah, absolutely.
we also wear Nike shit even though we know there's kids in sweatshops making our shoes.
Yeah.
It's fucked
Well, what
up,
do
but
you
it's
do,
like,
bro?
oh, it's still
like the same thing with the phones. Like, people in China mine these. Or,
Cobalt, yeah.
Yeah.
conflict minerals and stuff.
Yeah.
That's in Africa, but yeah.
Yeah, China owns them.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's
They're buying all of them. Yeah, I got what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
it's
insane.
hard. I mean that's like a psychological. No, that's sociology. It's like diffusion of responsibility.
Were you going to stop using your phone, though? Just because those people do that? Like, you can talk about it and tell the world, but no one's going to stop using their phone.
What's hard? Somebody has to make a change eventually, but I mean, it's diffusion of responsibility. Like we're like, oh well, we're not responsible. Somebody else is doing it, but eventually somebody has to do something.
Well, it's complicated, though, because it's China. Like, what are you going to do? Are you going to go to war with China or tell them to stop? It's their own country. In Africa, like,
Well, I
they're
agree.
pretty much slaves.
We
and
out-
they need money.
Well, we
so
do-
it's
We're
like-
part of the problem too because we made China the manufacturing hub of the world because it helped our economy.
Yeah, and then we try to take it back way too late. But Trump was actually doing a good job of that, and that's what I think we continue to do. If we get our next president, is we find big companies like Nike crazy money to not be in our country, to where you're willing to go pay our American people a better salary to make it in America.
That would make
Because
sense.
that's what sucks. That's why they don't want to make it here, is because you're going to have to pay an American employee $15 an hour starting.
Yeah.
When then
Well, I
they're
don't
gonna
wanna
have
pay
to
you
raise
that.
the cost of the product as well.
Yeah.
I mean, economics is just super
But it all
complicated.
stabilizes. You know what I mean? If cost of all your clothes go up and like all cost of all goods go up at the one time and your salary goes up too, like it all equals out eventually.
Yeah.
It's just we need to bring it can't all happen overnight because I think that would cause an economic crash, but
Bro,
you
it's-
just start finding these big companies and they'll slowly start coming back to our country.
There's so many variables you have to consider, though. It's so much more complicated than you think. Like, I took economics classes in college, and what a lot of people don't even understand is, like, a lot of it is based off of philosophy and theory. So it's not always just hard math, and it's super hard to know for sure what the consequences are going to be of
You're seeing
manipulating some of those variables. Like, we don't know for certain how a lot of that shit's going to play out.
I understand our economy really well. I think, like you said, it's just always unknown. Like, you can't predict the economy. We have experts right now trying to predict where the economy go. It's not just numbers. It's like I understand it's very complicated.
You have to create value, and it's like value. What we consider to be valuable changes with time. Like our dollar used to be based on the gold standard. It's not anymore.
Yeah.
I think we'll go back to that.
No, not at all.
I'm getting worried about that a bit too. Like, what if because once China is on top, which
They already are. I don't know why
No,
people
I think
keep.
it's 6 years they will
I don't
be.
think.
They're not
Well,
yet.
like their
China is
dollar.
winning
According
in
to
the
that
long term,
CIA
but it's
operative
because-
that we listened
yeah.
to, but
No,
talked
who
well,
knows though?
You gotta watch. I mean, I'm watching other people too. Like, if you go off of just economically right now, China is ahead of us.
They're not ahead of us yet, but they almost are. But like, what is the difference? Like that guy said, if it's like they're 2% below us, they're at our level, which makes America look bad, and they are going to be above us at some point, which they are winning economically, but it's because they're doing shady business. They are more shadier than America. Not saying that America doesn't do shady shit,
I don't know, but
the business that they do is fucked up.
we just gotta like. I watched Tim Kennedy talk
They give
about
out
this. on
loans
the-
that they know no one will
Yeah.
be able to pay back, and they're doing the cobalt stuff, the manufacturing.
It's weird. So like, I was watching Tim Kennedy's like talk about this, and I just thought about it when you said this. Basically, how we're making like a lot of American soldiers. He was talking about how he's scared, literally scared, like watching these guys train because, like, phones have came into like, the military now. So like
lowering the standards,
they're
too.
recording like this Navy SEAL kid died, and he's like, the fucked up reality of it is he's like, we're sending your kids over there. You know what I mean? To be prepared to be like tortured, murdered, any of those things. Like, we have to have a very high standard.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Now
Like,
they're lowering it, and
Yeah.
it's so scary.
Because nobody wants to join, so they have to lower it.
yeah, it's just really nerve-wracking.
Because then, like, if we don't lower the standard, nobody joins the military, and nobody wants to join the military right now because nobody is patriotic. Anybody that joins now, they're doing it for military benefits, not
I
because they're
absolutely would if I
patriotic,
didn't want a family.
which is hard to be patriotic for a country that's fighting fucked up proxy wars that you don't want to be a part of.
But, I mean,
like, why
you
would I want to
also-
join the military and go kill innocent people? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I don't know. It's just such a hard like thing in general too, because you have to also realize our country's gonna have to do some of the same things, and this is where he was kind of getting at that point too, which is we're gonna have to do things that are fucked up to put our country. We have to play the same game they're playing.
But
Yeah.
if you do the job right, then you don't have to do it again.
Maybe,
What do you,
I don't know.
What do you mean by that? Sorry.
If our
Elaborate.
military does the best that they can do, they won't have to go back into that country again.
I don't know if it's as simple as that, because like military, like right now, I think we're pressing for a war because we're backed into a corner and it's gonna stabilize our economy.
That's
we're
exactly
fighting.
what.
We're fighting an old way, an old war. China is beating us economically, like just like through trade and shit. And we're still trying to beat them the old way. We're like, hey, we want to fucking murder you guys because that's what we're good at. We're like,
Yeah.
let's go to war, right?
Well, ever since the gold
I
standard,
think if we did go to war with China, we would absolutely win. We have the most tanks in the world. We have the most.
yeah, but at what
Air
cost?
Force.
How many Americans' lives? Me, your lives? Like, we're all in our 20s. Do you want to go
Yeah.
fucking fight a war like that? Like, I don't want to fight it.
I
so.
absolutely would if I didn't want a family. Like I said, I wanted mine. I think it gives people purpose.
It brings
I
it,
told
it brings a
Madeline that I
whole
would-
community together
Yeah.
for sure. I mean, war
Like
does.
those are your brothers too, and I'm
Yeah.
so proud of my country. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but
No,
Well, it's
I
funny-
do too. I just
would
want
even
to.
become a cop.
I
I told
just
Madeline
told-
that, and
I
she
told-
didn't even want me to.
I told Sean this. I was talking to a buddy that was in the military. If you just told me the bullshit I was going into, like, just be honest, I wouldn't even care. Hey, we're going to fight for oil. Don't tell me we're going to liberate a country. Just say, hey, we're going to destroy these people. Like, I don't know. We just act like we're better than them, and we're not. Like, it's just a shitty reality. Like, we're doing all the same shit they're doing. And at some,
I think we're.
I don't know if there's
we
a
are
way not
better
to
than
do
them.
that.
We do shitty stuff though. I do think America is better.
but you know what's funny?
I think you almost have to match that. I
So
guess
remember-
is what I'm saying.
remember that
I don't
video-
know, if you're the only one playing fair in an unfair sport, what happens? You just
You get fucked.
you get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
But remember that video we watched? China, it did what we are doing. They're modeling us. They're doing what we've already done. So it's like, it's not like we can act like they're so bad. They're trying to create a wartime economy because since we left the gold standard, and what Eisenhower warned of is the military industrial complex, we create these proxy wars on purpose because it creates jobs. Like, we manufacture military goods and
Yeah.
stuff, and it helps the economy. And like, now China is trying to build their military so they can create a wartime economy, because this is the new standard now for economics, is creating a wartime economy.
They are getting ready for.
And it's
an
weird.
invasion.
So it's
all
like,
proxy wars.
How do we switch it though?
Did you
You know
ever
what I'm
watch-
saying? Because like this is how we create wealth now, is by having a wartime economy.
Well,
So
it's
like,
not-
how do we change the economy to where it's not based around war?
But it's been the tale of time. I don't even think it just like
That's a good question.
before that. You know what I mean? Before it was like money. It was like, oh, we're gonna go take physical things from you. It's just like war's always been. It's just a part of human nature.
There's
I don't
different
know.
types of goods, because before China, now they're trying to enter a wartime economy, but like before that they manufactured goods.
Yeah.
What I'm saying is like your perception of value changes, and you can base your economy off of different things. So it's hard to make the shift and determine what's valuable and have everybody agree on it. That's why economics is so confusing and hard.
Yeah.
It's not just about like money, it's about like theoretical shit, like, and philosophical stuff, like what's valuable to you.
Yeah, and that's fair, because even to that point, you could honestly say the other way around, that China might be in some real trouble right now, because if they don't get it to take off the way they need it to,
Well, China's
since
getting
they,
ready for
you know what I mean,
invasion
they're
right now.
they're going away from our.
They want to invade Taiwan, yeah.
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 Well, they don't.
We will go to war.
They're
if
getting
they
ready for an
invade Taiwan.
invasion too, because they don't want people to invade them. That guy, the CIA guy, talked about also, like they're putting people at their own borders.
I think if they invade Taiwan, we will go to war, and I really think
They want to
that's the
take the countries nearest to their borders, so their borders are safe.
Right.
Which is why during the Civil War it was so important for us to
Get the other
win,
side. Right,
because then we have our military to where both sides of the ocean, like, we're protected from both ends. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Which is why Russia has to fight their war right now, and they're all pissed off at us for putting our military near their borders, because they need to protect their borders. Like, you don't just fucking let military creep up onto the borders of your country.
Uh-huh.
Like we can't even be mad at them for defending themselves. Like, that
No,
was
but
our
what's crazy. This
No,
is
I can't be mad at.
This
Russia
is what
for
I
that.
keep telling people though.
Yeah.
Like, and I don't know if you guys agree on this. Like when I watch these people that think deeply about it, it's like we are the ones pressing for a war.
We
China,
are,
you'll
yeah.
literally
It's
watch,
literally always been us.
You'll watch videos of the fucking president of China saying, "Hey, we don't want a war, but if you keep fucking us, we're gonna do something." Or like, Putin comes out, like, there's so many interviews of him just saying, like, you know what I mean, like, just leave us alone.
We are. This is why Eisenhower warned the military-industrial complex. We are pressing for a war because our economy is fucked.
Yeah, so
and,
we want that.
And
It's gonna
China wants to
stabilize
beat us economically, so they're not going to manufacture as many of our goods, and they're going to start putting tariffs.
Yeah.
We're like, fuck you.
We're gonna fight
You keep being our bitch and making all of our goods. We don't want you to be better than us. They're like, no,
Or we'll
we don't
kill
want to be
you.
your bitch anymore.
Yeah.
And the problem is we're making literally everybody mad. And then
More than ever.
it's gonna go from like, okay,
Yeah,
this
we're
is good
ruining
for the
relationships and
economy.
burning bridges.
It's gonna go. This is good for the economy to now.
And
This is a
Trump
world
was
war
trying
and
to build
everybody
our
dies.
bridges back up,
No, he
though.
did. Like,
Yeah.
he was in talks with so many presidents that we haven't talked to in forever.
Yeah, like he.
And he literally says this. So, have you ever
Yeah.
watched the American culture? Like, how what is it called? We go, like, what is it? We fight for democracy. Like, we don't like communism, right?
Yeah.
So that's always why, like, even till this day, if you look at our motto, like, that's what we always say we're going to do, is we don't like communism. So we typically go to war with these countries.
Yeah, we're a democratic republic. We
Yeah.
vote for people to be in place.
Yeah.
We say we're trying to liberate a country and change it to a democratic
we're there,
republic for them,
yeah.
but we're really just there to have a proxy
I
war
don't
and
think
make
that's
money.
true. I do think we're trying to liberate certain countries like Iraq or Afghanistan. Like those are those are uneducated countries. Like the Al Qaeda and all of them. There are certain people there that are very educated. Like when we were bringing people back from Afghanistan,
Bro.
those were doctors, those were children, those were plumbers, those were actual civilians. And the people outside there, like Al Qaeda, those are just people that.
If we
World
really
War.
cared that much, we wouldn't have pulled out the way we did and left all those people high and dry and let the Taliban take over right away. We basically
We did pull out all of the civilians though. We did the right thing. Was it?
not all of them. Listen to Tim
We
Kennedy.
did the majority of people. I did listen to that
Lots
one.
of people died.
Yes, lots of people died, but we pulled out, and I do think it was the great idea for our country to do that.
I do think
It was a forever war that we weren't winning. We saved
there's-
millions of lives.
There's ways to do it. You don't pull
Or
out
thousands.
leave,
I don't know if it was
you
millions.
don't pull out and leave billions worth of
It's probably
equipment.
closer to millions.
You think it was millions? Yeah.
I
We
think
saved
it was
millions of lives.
I don't know.
I don't know. I want to know. I want to argue we saved millions of lives. I mean,
we did though. We did save millions of lives, even while our troops were there.
I don't know. It's a complicated issue. I'm not super educated on all of the intricacies of the war on terrorism, but at the end of the day, we were there to create wealth, and we pulled out in a really shitty way, and we did more harm than good.
I think we did a lot of good, actually. I would have to respectfully disagree with you. I think we did a lot of good there, honestly. We did save a lot of people, and we liberated them as much as we could.
I'm just asking, like, from your perspective, like, do you not think there should have been just a better way to, like, I agree with you, like, as far as pulling out, but, like, the way we pulled out.
It was the way we pulled out that was bad.
We cost a lot of lives the way we pulled out.
And I agree that
we costed a lot of lives. I think we just left a lot of equipment. We're going to have to pull out either way. There's going to be lives that were taken.
Fair.
That's what you're not getting. There was no right way to pull out. There was going to be people that died either way.
Well, we pulled out so fast and shittily, the Taliban took over almost instantly. I mean, we were there to fight. We were there to fight terrorism, which is a good cause. But like, what's the point of pulling out in a shitty way to where the terrorists are going to take over right away?
But we had troops that died, though.
We did have troops that died, but we saved a lot of them.
And
if we were to take over equipment, more people would have died. More civilians would have died.
What's honestly crazy is that we didn't get our troops out first, which is what I watched. We had American guys, like, people die that didn't need to die.
Why would you get your troops out first if you can't get
the first thing you're going to do? Well, what you just said, we're pulling out.
Yeah.
If we're pulling out,
we had to save the civilians first. That is our troops' jobs.
I don't know, like...
That is our number one priority, is to save people.
Our job was to save the people that we were supposed to be training there that all got brutally murdered.
Because we just pulled out.
We were trying to train their military so they could defend themselves against the terrorists.
A lot of people, like a lot of those guys, ended up just getting
killed. Which we did a
way.
bad job of training them too. We were there to fight terrorism, but I don't think we were really there to fight terrorism. We were there to make money. If we were actually there to do a good thing, we would have prepared their military better. We would have prepared their government better. We didn't do a good job of training them. We pulled out really sloppily and shittily. Terrorists took over right away, and now it's worse than when we fucking started.
Yeah.
I don't think it's worse than when we started.
If we really gave a fuck, we wouldn't have done things so sloppily.
I think the exact opposite. We pulled out the right way. We saved tons of people's lives, and we also saved a tons of military. And yes, we are going back over there to fight another war, but this is a different war than Afghanistan, though.
Yeah, it's another fucking proxy war that has nothing to do with us, so we can make money again.
Yeah, but who's funding the war?
Yeah, we are. We're funding their fucking war, and it's, like, not our problem. I mean, it's supposedly to help our economy, but, like, Ukraine is going to lose.
Yes, but NATO is why we're funding the war.
No, that just goes back to us fucking with any country that we're doing it to just piss off Russia. It's just pressing, like, I just think
which is not good, because NATO's mad at us right now.
We do it with China, too.
NATO's not mad at us at all. We're helping.
Dude, NATO is fucking talking about kicking the U.S. out of NATO. I don't know if you know that.
I don't think they will do that, though. Why would they do that if we're helping?
Bro, because we fucking we made Russia mad because they told us not to do all of these things, and NATO did it anyways.
Yeah.
Yes, we're funding Ukraine. That's why they're mad. They're not
because
mad about
everyone in NATO is following the U.S.'s lead, and all the U.S. is doing is causing problems for NATO. So NATO's like, you guys are fucking dumb. We don't want you to be a part of NATO anymore.
But we're still a part of NATO.
For how much longer? We are causing all the issues.
We have a lot of...
I don't think we'll be kicked out. If anything, we will leave, and I think it will be probably Trump that will make us leave, and we'll probably start another allies.
And then our economy's fucked because we aren't the standard isn't the U.S. dollar anymore, and we're in a wartime economy where we're not the standard, and now we're just fighting a war, and everyone's against us in our economy.
I don't think that's true. If Trump wins, why would we still fight the war? I think he wants to still back up Israel because we're part of NATO. If we're not part of NATO, why the fuck would we still fund the war?
And Israel's bad. We're in bed with bad people right now.
I don't think Israel is bad. Why do you keep saying that? They're not bad people. Both sides are bad. Hamas is bad. What Israel is doing, they're defending their country. It's been a wartime for hundreds of years. It's about religion. Like, they're killing their people, and they're also killing their people. It's the same thing that America is doing with the Middle East. You're pointing fingers at saying America is bad or they're bad. It's like, this is what war is. War in general is bad.
Yeah, that's fair, because that's what Just shit like fucked up shit's gonna happen.
Yes,
That's
exactly.
fair.
It's like
So I can understand even what you're saying about us pulling out. Like, no matter
Yes.
what bad shit was
people
gonna happen.
are gonna die either way
Yeah.
when we're even pulling.
I'm just saying that I think we could have lessened some of the loss of life.
It's
in
all
that
we
bad.
absolutely
situation.
could have. Yes, it was dramatically forced and pushed, and there could have been a better plan.
I'm
But
not
we
saying-
still saved tons of
I'm not
people's
saying
lives,
anybody's
and
better than
that's what
anybody
our
else.
Army does. I think it was the most beautiful disaster we've ever had. Yes.
Yeah.
I'm
We
not saying
still saved tons of people. Yes, tons of people also died.
I don't know. I
I'm trying to
disagree.
understand your perspective out. I'm listening to you.
I don't agree that it was a beautiful disaster. I think it was just a really sloppily executed plan for us to make money.
But we saved tons of
and
people's
it
lives.
wasn't
If it was all
beneficial
bad,
to us
then no one
anymore.
would have survived.
Well,
You're
I
just
mean-
saying it was all bad.
I agree with what you're saying too. I just think the answer to like all these things are so fucking complex. It's a lot of things at one.
Yeah.
No,
There's a lot of
and I'm
moving
and
parts.
you, I like
Because I
every-
can see Landon's perspective, I can see your perspective. I think I lean more on your side, but I also agree with Landon.
Yes,
that
war
lives
is
would have
bad.
been
Like
lost.
nobody should die. We shouldn't base our economic standard on a wartime economy.
No.
Period. And
But that's
it's
just-
all
I
bad.
respectfully
Everybody
disagree with that, too.
everybody
I
is the
don't know.
bad guy
There's
right
always gonna
now.
be war.
It doesn't have to be that way, and we shouldn't
I don't
push
know if
for
that's
it to make
true.
our economy better.
I don't know if that's true though.
If
When
there
has
was-
it?
okay,
When has
that's
war
a bit
not been a
naive.
thing?
If you
I
think
don't
there
know.
was no war, if you think everyone is going to be good, you have to be prepared for the worst always. Like you have to lift and you have to work out so
Yeah.
you can save your family. That's what the U.S. is going to do.
It shouldn't be
We're
sought after,
protecting our
and it's
country.
probably never
It's
going to
naive
go
not
away.
Be ready for a war.
It
Yeah.
shouldn't be sought after, and it's probably never going to go away. But it's not something that we should purposely seek to make our economy better, and that's what we're doing. And that's fucked up.
Yeah.
We should
Maybe
only
that's
use
right,
it to
yeah.
defend ourselves. We're doing it to make money. That's bad.
Well, we're struggling economically. I don't know if you knew that. So yes, we need. money.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
it's
but
like-
how is that working out for us? Because we're fucking making all of
Well,
our allies mad. We
to be-
can't keep
to
doing
be
that.
fair,
I don't think we're making all of our allies.
To
mad.
be
Some
fair, we
people,
just
yes.
don't. We don't know.
bro.
We're looking out for the best for us, and if that's selfish, maybe. But do you?
At
want,
what cost? Because it's not going to work out much longer if we continue to do things the way we are. At least that's what I think.
I'd have to respectfully disagree with that too. I think America's going to be fine in the end, and we're going to still turn out to be fine. Maybe China is winning economically, but
Well, it's not like I was even watching a guy that was talking about this, like as far as I don't remember who it was, but even if America's not number one, we're still going to be a first world country. I think people think like
yeah,
we're just not going to. We might
We're
not be the
gonna
leading
number one.
house
Exactly.
anymore.
Like Poland, Swedish.
So can we
Spain,
live with that?
Yeah,
those
but
are
for
all first
fucking
world
how much
countries.
longer? Because, Syria was pretty much a first world country at one point in time.
Do you think United States is just going to crash and become a fucking third world country, bro?
Not with how much influence like that our country has. In
But what I'm
Yeah.
saying is it's a slippery slope
The
because
day
for how much
immigrants
longer?
don't want to come into this country and live here is the day that we're a shitty.
I just
country.
think our whole country.
Millions
we
of
just have
people
so many
still
people
wanna
that
come
want-
here.
There's a draw. There's still money here. I just think that there might be a day where America's not number one anymore, and
Yeah,
that time might be coming very soon.
it really.
And I
might
agree
be,
with
yeah.
that.
Yeah, that is true.
Like
Well-
economically, we might not be the standard anymore. And
No, we
if
probably
people can get over that, you know what I mean. We're gonna be okay.
I don't know.
And I don't know what that looks like either, because that's very complicated. Like if we had to,
Yeah, we haven't been number one.
if we had to go to
We've
like
been number
convert to like China's dollar, like that could be really scary. As far as we did press a lot of these issues with them.
Regardless of what
What's gonna
happens,
happen now?
things can definitely get worse.
Way
And
worse.
I just don't know if we're making all the right moves.
I tend to be, yeah, I like to prepare for the worst. I recognize I see all the things that you're seeing, but I hope for the best, which I think Landon tends to be more of an optimist, and that's what I want to believe too. What's
Yeah,
going
I
to
believe our
happen?
country's gonna be fine. I
You're-
think that's so
yeah.
pessimistic, and it's like it is though.
No,
Like, you're
I go
saying
there.
that we're all gonna be
No, but I
shitty
go
and
there
die,
too.
It's like
I go there too. Like I typically, I
it's a
just think-
possibility,
yeah.
but yes, prepare for the worst.
I'm just like I just think about like because we are just our country's in a hard spot. It's either going to go one way or another. It's
Yeah.
either
We're all humans. No one's gonna make the right decision all the time. Yes, there's probably a series of choices that we could have done better. If you were in that position though, making the choices, do you think that you would make wrong choices though?
know.
Dude, I don't know. I'm not the leader of a country.
So you think that you'd make wrong choices?
I mean, probably, yeah, but that's not even
We're all
like
human.
that's not even the
That's what I
point
mean.
that I was trying to make. Like we are all
It
human.
was. You were saying that we're making not the right choices. we're all humans. We make mistakes sometimes.
I think we're making more of the bad decisions than we are good. And I mean, obviously, I love my country and stuff, but like, I just don't
Yeah.
agree with a lot of the things that are happening.
I can agree with that. Yes, we're making a lot of bad decisions right now, and I think that's because of the president that we have now. Yes.
I think you both agree, honestly.
I think so as well.
Like you're both like you're saying the same thing. You're just saying it in a different way. I feel like.
I agree. Yeah.
Like you're an optimist too. I feel like typically, like it just you're seeing a lot of dangerous shit right now. And I think
Oh
you
no,
also-
I'm not optimistic at all.
Really?
I'm a pretty nihilistic, pessimistic person
I can
in
be
general.
real. I can be that way.
Yeah.
I try
I
not
don't
to
want
be
you
that
to
way.
see this as a wrong way when I say this. I think a lot of people are like this now. They're kind of cynical. Like they think all humans are bad and everything's going to happen. And I think it's because a lot of people don't believe in God anymore.
That's fair.
Like,
The only reason I
I
don't feel super optimistic is I don't feel like a lot of great solutions have been
Shown.
presented.
Yeah,
It's-
that's fair.
All that I'm being shown is more and more problems, and I'm like, how the fuck are we gonna?
But that
make
goes
this
back
right?
to the news.
That's
Yeah.
all they
So it's
show
so
them.
it's
They
just.
don't show the
But
good
I think
stuff.
it goes back to like, I don't know, cause I watch like shit every day. Like I don't know what's true and what's real and what's not anymore.
You find both and you figure out
Meet
what's
somewhere
your
in the
own
middle,
judgment.
right?
Yeah.
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 So that's what I try to do. But at the end of the day, we don't know where any of this shit's gonna go.
No.
No,
Right?
we don't. We're just civilians.
I just want to
Like,
choose to I just want to believe that, like you said, it's gonna work out. We're
Yeah.
gonna be okay.
Yeah.
Cause that's I hope. Cause I want to have kids. You know what I mean? A future. And
I truly believe
I think
that
this
we will.
country's a great country.
Yeah.
Well, worst case scenario, if it does get bad enough to where it's not safe here anymore, you just seek asylum somewhere else.
Yeah, but I don't even like to think about that. I just fucking hate
I'm
the
not gonna
culture.
leave
Yeah, the
country.
culture
I'm not.
with
I'm staying
about
here.
our country. I just hate it. Like, let's just be patriots, man.
I mean, obviously, you want it to work out here and for things to get better and stay good. And
Do you guys vote on like our stuff in like Salina?
I wanted to get into it.
So me and Ian
I
have
don't
been
know a lot
talking
about
about that. Ian's been
Yeah.
talking to me about it. He's been voting on some of the stuff. I forgot what he voted on a while back, but I was watching this guy and he's like, if you really want to make a monumental difference, start
Yeah.
with your own town.
It's so true.
And you can actually make differences in your own town because you know the people. You have heavy influence.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like if you're a well-known person, like talk, get out there,
Mhm.
like see what we're voting on. Make sure, like, you know what I mean?
We really should
makes
start doing
sense.
that. Yeah, I want to.
I need to. They don't make it like easily readable though in our town. Like, what's
They
going
do
on?
that with everything in every town. They make
Yeah.
it so hard to vote.
to
and
know what's
shit
going on in your
because
own
they
town.
want to stay
Yeah.
in power.
that's just politics in
And
general.
then they're
Yeah.
the only ones that know about it, so all their buddies are the ones voting on it.
Yeah.
Sure, of course, it's getting passed
Yeah.
because fucking 20 people in the town know about it.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What are your thoughts, Keith?
I don't really know. I was just thinking, this is totally off topic. I was just trying to think how we garner more interest to grow our platform and other things we could talk about.
Oh, in social media?
Yeah, just in general.